Boo. So, I'm going to show off some yarn in a minute. For the first time since moving in here, almost a year ago, the kitchen or the bathroom sink works. There is no kitchen sink. So I washed my hair in the sink today. It's like that much black roots. See? Gray roots. See the gray? Can you see the gray? How old. I'm trying to decide if I should bleach it out and dye it for Norwestcon next weekend or not. Probably do my fingernails. I dyed them. Can you see how they're blue tinged? Yeah. This one right here, I don't know if it'll show up or not. Come on, camera focus. Well, without the camera focusing, it's not going to show up, that's for certain. Anyway, there's a tag right there where it's trying to tear, which is always painful. So, out of breath. Always out of breath. We're meeting with the real estate agent tomorrow. Wish us luck. This should go well. We went through and found 12 houses that meet our minimum standards, with 4 of them being ideal, or close to ideal. Sent her the list about a half hour ago, and she'll put it through the MSL and tell us how many of them are actually still available. We'll meet with her in the morning here in Portland, go over anything else she has, and then Friday we'll go look at houses. I'm so enthused. I've been doing this since November. I just want to be done, but I don't want to settle. I don't want to grasp at straws like we did the last time and get something that doesn't work for us. Anyway, so I did some overdying. Remember I showed you the bag of mostly whites and creams. This is yellower than it's showing. Okay, there was also grays, some light browns, and this particular green, only because I wanted to see what the fiber was, because it's really, really fuzzy. Okay, so we'll start with this particular green. This particular green dyed, these are still damp, red with some blue. The first dye batch was half a bottle of red food coloring and half a bottle of blue food coloring. I like that purple tone, mostly because the red dyes first and the blue doesn't. So when the water goes blue, you know all the red's gone, and you pull that out. Into that dye batch also went some of these. These were grays, okay? They picked up some color. That picked up some blue, this picked up some reds, so this was in the first dye batch, okay? These were grays of various shades. Can you see that this picked up some blue? Okay. This one here, whose label claimed it had natural fibers, didn't pick up any dye whatsoever. So the label lied, and that's kind of annoying. It happens. So that's those. I also threw in various, I did 5 pots total. I started out with the blue and the red, then blue and yellow, then blue and the red, then added yellow, then added red, then added blue, then added yellow. The blue doesn't pick up, so it got bluer and bluer as I went until I put my natural, I put some wool in at the end for his dye sop. Okay, so these were bright blinding white. They were that white. Can you see how they now have a cream tone to them? Now mind you, some of that tone is like right here, I didn't wash it out well enough. Mostly because these are gonna get RIT dye moored. Okay? The whole purpose of all of this is to test the fiber to see if it's synthetic, pure synthetic, or if there's any natural fibers in it. This one obviously pure synthetic. It will get RIT dye more later, so I didn't need to worry about washing it out that much. Same with this one. This was a pure white skein, and it's now got some creamy tones. This one is the pillow fiber that I spin myself. Everything else is commercial yarn. This is the pillow fiber I spin myself. So those were my bases. Okay. And that fuzzy, fuzzy green became this heathered red with purple notes. Okay? It's actually really pretty. Actually, I hate that word. It's really pretty. I like the way it turned out. Okay? It's a shame there's so little of it, but I didn't have that. I had 4 little balls. This is the largest of the little balls. When I'm doing the hats, the little balls aren't really useful because you don't want the knots in a hat. Okay, then this gray right here, okay, became this. And this is why I do this dye trick. The first time I ever did this, I fell in love with it. This is it picking up the red. There's no gray left to it. Okay, it color changes and color matches and stuff. This right here, if I can get to it, is a beautiful salmon color. Okay, and again, that's that gray. And then this green, okay, I gotta get this off the hook. Ow. Mostly because I can't support this and move around. Okay. This green, there's a light green, and then there's a, it's grape technically, but it kind of looks dirty. I will be over dyeing these because as much as I like the green, that grape dirty doesn't work. Okay, and that's off of the gray yarn, which surprises me every time it does it. But if you look here, you can still see where some gray is left. Okay, even though the rest of it is green. So that was that. I still have a couple more hanks of the gray to dye, and like I said, I'm going to throw the green into the dye more, but I'm going to keep the red in the salmon because you can't tell me that's not a premium dye job. Can you see it? It's heathered. Because while it's 20% wool to 80% acrylic, probably, the wool takes up 80% of the space to 20% of the acrylic. So you have 20% little streakings, and the gray looks lighter toned than it was when it started. I don't know if it bleaches out the gray coloring, if the gray coloring wasn't permanent or what, but they're really nice yarns, the reds and the salmons, and that makes it worth doing the project. So now it'll have to wait until after we move, probably. I'm going to get a couple of bottles of Rit Dye More and do some stripies or something with them, and it'll work out fine. So that's that. So what I was left with was a pot with a lot of blue. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, a lot of blue. In the bottom of the colander, the strainer I was using, I put a hank of merino for dyeing. This particular one had dyed really, really, really pastel. These notes right here. I mean, just incredibly Easter egg pastel. So I put it in the bottom, and then as I was taking the skeins out, knowing that there was still color in the water, I put them on top of the roving. And then when I was completely finished, the last batch, I threw this in. Now remember, it was a whole bunch of blue, and I threw a little bit of yellow in. And I got this really, it's not as emerald as it looks, okay? The camera lies on colors. But can you see how like there's that beautiful blue shock? It repeats over and over again. There's this burgundy red brown here. This is going to spin up amazing. Your trick of the day. I've seen people at events walk away from roving that's hand dyed because to them it looks felted. And they'll make their snotty little comments about, that would be nice if you hadn't felted it. It's not felted. Okay? Hand dyeing compresses the fiber. Let's try this one. Hand dyeing compresses the fiber. It loses some of its life. You take and you go. Now just wait a minute and you'll see what I'm doing. This isn't quite dry, so it's not going to be as effective. This is all it takes. I call these cattails. Come on, come back here. There's a book by, I think, Larry Niven, where cats evolve until they're just tails. Okay, can you see how this has got creases? Okay, that nice dark spot? I'm going to start over here. Don't pull until it starts to pull through. You're just beating the fiber. You're putting some air in. Some of the crease is gone. See how it's softer looking? I love the echoing noise it makes. I can do one of these at a time and then my shoulders and wrists are blown there. See how that opened up? Okay, this is the second or third time this particular roving has been dyed. And it's fine. See how that opened up? Here, watch. Watch that section there. See how it opened up? Got some really nice toning. See, I'm halfway done. I'm not going to do the whole thing because that'll be another 2 minutes. But if you look here, this is all nice and open and in no way, shape, or form looking felted. And if you go like this, the tips are always questionable. See? Easy pull. Easy pull. Easy pull. See? And spin. Easy as can be. So I'll do the rest of the pulling on that off camera. I just wanted to show you that if you're ever at some place and somebody has hand-dyed roving and it looks all compressed and squished, it's because we squished the water out, okay? And all it takes is a little bit of tugging on it and it loses that squished and becomes nice, fat, fluffy roving again. I strongly recommend doing that before you buy it. So like take a spot like this one right here where it's compressed and just pick one spot and just, oh, that opened right up. Because if it doesn't open up, there might be a problem. The other reason to do it is because your color will get lighter as you do it. The color on this side is lighter with more white spots than the color on this side, and you might not be looking at the true color. Ha, go over there. Now my shoulders are dead and it's been 13 minutes. I will probably post a video tomorrow afternoon while driving, maybe. We'll see how it goes. Wish us luck. Bye-bye.